Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resume. The resume we have up first is, I have no idea. They just put in random software engineer. They just said software engineer level 2. Level 2. That doesn't matter. That's not what I'm looking for. So the problem is software engineers are divided into 5 stacks. Yes, there are more of them, but these are the most common ones. So they are full stack, backend Python, backend Java, backend C#.net, and front end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a D6. This is a 6-sided die, and whichever one it lands on is what I'm going to review this as. Are you actually a backend Python dev and I picked front end? Tough, you didn't tell me, and that's probably the reason you're not getting any interviews, is that you need to be very specific with your resume, and that goes for everybody, not just software engineers. You need to your resume needs to be based on a specific job title. If your resume is not based on a specific job title, you will fail. That is unfortunately the truth. So this rolled on 3, so we are doing a Java developer. All right, so this is a Java, and let me get that up real quick. So this is a Java engineer, and boom. These are what I would look for in a Java developer. Is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, SQL, RESTful APIs, microservices, OOP, Git, other APIs, Maven, Cloud, Architecting, SDLC, MongoDB, and extra credit for Kafka, Full Stack, Agile, CI/CD, Hibernate, DevOps, Docker, and AI. So can I find that in 20 seconds? Let's find out, because that's the amount of time recruiters have to find what they need. I wish we had more time. I think the world would be a better place if we had more time, but that's all the time we actually have. And if a recruiter spends more than 20 seconds on a resume, they're probably not going to last very long and get laid off. So let's go. Okay, Node.js and TypeScript. Don't care about that. Not for Java backend. AWS I do care about. AI is a bonus. Nothing else. Datadog, maybe. Nothing. Kubernetes is good-ish. And AWS. Okay, so this would get absolutely deleted and yeeted because this has nothing I need for a Java engineer. And people are probably yelling at me, Lee, this isn't a Java engineer, it's a engineer. Well, you didn't tell me, and that's part of the problem, is you need to be specific. And I'm not saying this to be mean, I'm saying this so that you can actually get interviews and, feed your family. Is that you need to be very specific. This person said I applied to several big tech with referrals and only ever gotten an interview from one, which is referred to by a very close friend. Yeah, that makes sense. This has almost nothing I need in a variety of resumes. The closest I would assume is this is full stack. But even then, it doesn't have enough of what I need to be a full stack developer. And as an example, so what I would need to be a full stack dev is this. Your degree, which is important, which I did not see here. Your degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, React.js API, RESTful API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and then .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for architecture, entry language, Git, and DevOps. So if I can find this in 20 seconds, no, actually. I found this, and this is good, and I found this, and this is good, but why do I care that you achieve sub 500 milliseconds latency and 200 gigabytes of healthcare data? Why do I care about 100+ year contracting? Why do I care specifically about Datadog? Maybe because that could be useful in some of them. That's a bonus. I do care about microservices, which is good, and I actually missed that the previous one. But there's just nothing here that I'm actually going to care about, right? You need to be specific. And it doesn't matter if you are the best Python developer in the world if they're only asking for front-end developers that know TypeScript and React, right? So that's my problem with this resume, is it doesn't tell me anything. It's a bunch of random, I guess, keywords or whatever, but we're not looking for keywords. We're looking for something specific. Also, your education should be up at the top. That Your resume should look like this, to be clear. This is the best formatting you can have. Now, you may ask me, Lee, why? This looks horribly ugly. And yeah, that's the point. You saw it. I have 20 seconds. This formatting lets me go further down and read more of your resume. The how it looks is not important. It's how it reads is. And then you also need to stop with this 100K and 200 gigabytes and 500 MS, because no job description is asking for that. So I need you to focus on what you're looking for first. Because if you're looking for full stack, I need this. And I need 75% of this. If you're looking for Java, well, I need, this. So I need you to be specific, and I need you to look at the job descriptions, because this is so broad to be completely useless. And broad resumes never work. They just don't. You need to be job title specific. Now, that does not mean you should remake your resume for every role. That's actually how you get lower interviews, is you need to pick a role and make a resume based on that role. In this case, it would be, again, maybe a full stack developer, and then maybe you'll have another Java developer resume, and you'll have two different resumes. And then you use those focused job title resumes to mass apply. So that's all I can really do for this, because, I don't know what you are, bro. And that's why you're getting rejected, is nobody does. And this is not the recruiter's thing. This is what managers do. Most managers want you to have a particular stack. I am working on recs where you can be stack agnostic. That's fine, but they're rare. I want to be clear. Those are very rare. So if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream. That's where I get these qualifications, and I help people a little bit more than I can on a YouTube video on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. To my knowledge, this person is in chat, and this is their revised version, so we don't have data on their ratio, and the ratio is how many applications it takes to get an interview. Anything over 1 in 50 is bad. Anything under 1 in 50 is good. But, we don't know the ratio for this one. The old one was bad, though. So let's see if I can find what I need for full stack in 20 seconds. Again, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, React.js, API, RESTful APIs, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for AI, architecture, extra language, Git, and DevOps. So let's see if I can find it. And good. Okay, so AWS certified. So JavaScript, HTML, CSS, good. RESTful APIs in C#. Okay. Develop SQL. Okay. CI/CD. It's okay. React, JavaScript, TypeScript for clients, built full stack Node.js and React. It's not bad. Is this the only AWS you have, though? It may be. So, that's not what we can do. This is a maybe, right? This kind of has stuff I'd move forward with. I know I have C# as one of the, .NET and C# is one of those. What am I missing? So let's take away the stuff that I'm missing, because I feel like this is okay, but it could be better. So we found that JavaScript, HTML, CSS. We have RESTful APIs. That's good. Let's see. We have SQL, and we have CI/CD. Good. And I think there was, I'm going to count C# as this. I might want that. And that is it. Then we go down here, and I saw TypeScript is good. So I am missing primarily, this is, I don't know why the QL is there. That's SQL. So this is a bit of the stuff that I'm missing. If you again, I think you put the cloud cert because you don't directly have cloud, so I would understand that. But I am missing Node.js. Am I missing Node.js? I think I am. Node. Yeah, I don't have, there it is, Node.js. Oh, there it is. I missed it. Yeah. So that's okay. What about Angular next? It's not bad. I just wanted a little bit more. So yeah, my thoughts on this resume is it's probably now about a 1 in 75, give or take, is that I don't see cloud in here. Which again may not be something that you can do. Node.js is kind of all the way down here, and it may be easy to miss because there's a lot of extraneous stuff here. But it's not the worst. Let's see what you wrote. So you've applied. The previous resume has been 700, and this is a revived attempting guidelines. I'm aiming for full stack. It would mention C# and .NET more, but I don't want to be pigeonholed. So what you want to do is you want to have two resumes, right? One resume has C# and .NET. The other does not. That is how you avoid being pigeonholed, because the roles that are looking for C# may actually decline you because if you don't have it. So this way you can just use those 2 resumes, even if literally the only difference is the C#.net. I also did not see .net. Is there actual .net on this? Let me check if there's .net. I might be missing .net. No, I don't see any .net. So it's not bad. I would like a little bit more, and there's some extraneous parts, and I probably would not have missed Node.js if the formatting was better. So remember, you want to use this. This is how you do it, and if you can tell, this has some slight differences than this. Not huge, but slight, that makes it easier to read. So, not the worst, could be better. And then there's some extraneous stuff. There's Agile. Yeah, Agile should be higher up here, bro. Agile should be like here. Like used React and JavaScript used React, JavaScript, and TypeScript to build interactive dashboards in an agile environment for our client. Right? That is how you would write that. You could put Agile up at the top. So fix the formatting, add a little bit more, and now I'm going to help you out in chat. For everybody else, we're going to the next resume. This is a resume of, I don't know. They said software engineer, full stack, AI, ML engineer, any of them is suitable. Well, they're not, actually. Those are all dramatically different roles. So since we just did full stack, I am going to put this as an AI engineer, not even an ML engineer. In fact, yeah, not even an ML engineer, because an ML engineer is slightly different. So this is specifically going to be for an AI engineer. Does that include ML? Yeah, it might actually, but their qualifications are just a little bit different. So what we're looking for in an AI engineer specifically is AI, LLM, NLP, sometimes ML, Python, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Cloud, NumPy, R, MATLAB, SD, LC, CI/CD, DevOps, and then one of these groups, I should say. So RAG is good, machine learning is good, LangChain and scikit-learn, which I like saying, skibbity-learn, pandas, agentic, that kind of stuff. And that here's a critical one, that you can explain complex topics to non-technical people. That is massive. So let's see if I can find that in 20 seconds. Away we go. Okay, don't care about this. This is for an AI role. LLM, okay, agentic, good, with an MCP and Python, that's actually good. Autonomously troubleshooting, led in development, okay, don't care about half of that stuff. CI/CD is good, though. Led the full stack of, don't care. Yeah, I don't, that's it. That's all the time I had. What did I found? I found 4. This is why it matters. This is why the resume cannot be everything, okay? Because this is failing on that part, right? Look, this may be what I'm looking for full stack, but then I don't need as much AI. So the Python is good. The AWS is not great for, is good for this. So that's 5, right? LLM is okay. MCP is 1, but again, they may not, actually, wait, am I misconstruing? I might actually be incorrect with MCP, but agentic is good. And then you have nothing else. So I need you to be specific. This is why your resume is having problems, is you're not specific. You need to be specific with what you title for. Half of these things I don't need. So you said, before that, thanks a lot for what you do. Luck to have you as a creator online. I am glad to help. I've been wanting to get into big tech like Amazon and Google, but I'm not getting any responses. I will say I'm not a FANG engineer, which I think now it's a manga or something. But I have worked for like Fortune 500 stuff and tech. It's just not FANG specifically. If you can please tell me what's the most effective way to apply. I mean, you need to be specific. That's one. Please let me know if my resume can get any better. Yeah, so again, it's not specific, right? You're trying to do it all. And I think as you can see from the previous 2 resumes as well, this is the theme of the episode. You cannot have a generalized resume. If you are applying for an ML role, you need an ML resume. If you are applying for a full stack role, you need a full stack resume. If you're applying for a Python developer, you need a Python specific resume. So that is what you need to do. I need you to be very specific. Also, your formatting is off and your education should be at the top. So, whoop, almost opened a hyperlink. Nothing here should be bolded. This needs to be up at the top. So I need you to remake this. I need you to split this into like 3 or 4 different resumes. One of them is full stack. One of them is AI, one of them is ML specific, and one of them is Python. If you do that, you'll start getting a lot more interviews, but this is too broad. It has a little bit of everything, which means it does not have enough of what I need to move you forward. Never do generalized resumes. Let's go to the next one. This is a resume of, again, they were not specific, a software developer / full stack developer MERN. So I guess I should just do this as a regular full stack, but I don't have the MERN saved. I will say this person docs themselves, and whenever you submit your resume to me, please make sure your contact information is not there. It is in the instructions. Because of this, I cannot move forward with anything beyond this page, and this review is going to be less impactful. So let's review what they said. Is I am tired, no corporate even shortlisted me. Okay, well, first off, this resume is bad. This is so hard to read. This should not be bolded. This is completely irrelevant. And then here is, again, what role are you going for? Is it just MERN? Which is, I actually don't remember MERN off the top of my head. I'm sure people can correct me, but I don't remember it. Because remember, the most common things I'm looking for in full stack, right? Full stack is going to be this, at least in the United States, is this. So I did have the degree, and I can't use anything in the skills section. I see React, which is good, and nothing else. Because again, Tailwind CSS might be different than CSS, and I'm looking for CSS, not Tailwind CSS. And then nothing here. React is good. APIs is fine. RESTful APIs is fine. And then that's kind of it. So if you notice, I only have about 4 things, and I have to go all the way down here to find only 4 things. So that's my problem with this resume, is it does not have enough. And then there's nothing really here. Other is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So your problem again, and this is probably going to be short, is A, you did not read the instructions on my website, and B, that it just doesn't have enough. You only need about 40%, and I'm sure you're screaming at me like, well, I have it right here, but I cannot use anything in a skills section. If I see something in a skills section and it is nowhere else in your resume, I cannot move forward with you. That's why they're irrelevant. At best, they're irrelevant because it needs to be here or here. It cannot be here. So fix your formatting, remove the skills section, put those skills I'm actually looking for here, which, again, you have some of them, just not enough of them, and fix your formatting, and you should start getting like more interviews. Because right now, all you're showing me is that you don't meet enough minimum qualifications to move forward, and you did not read the instructions on my website. Let's go to the next resume. This is the resume of, you already know what I'm going to say. I have no idea. They just said software engineer. So we're rolling the D6. What are we getting for this one? This wasn't intentional, by the way. That just worked out that way. We've got a 2. So that is a back-end Python developer. So the qualifications for a back-end Python developer in the United States, because I am a US-based recruiter and sometimes this does not translate outside the US, that is something that can happen, is as follows. So over here, we've got degree, which I should have put on, but that is one. SQL, Python, and again, any SQL, doesn't really matter which one. Docker, cloud, and its words. So AWS and I think EC2, and I don't know the equivalent for GCP and Azure. RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and then one of these, either full stack or AI or DevOps or Fast API, Flask, and Django, along with Kubernetes, ETL, MongoDB, and Java. Can we find this in 20 seconds? Let's find out. Again, maybe this isn't a Java engineer, but you didn't tell me. So I have to do this. All right. Using Agile, good. With Git is fine. Don't care about Jira as much. It's JavaScript. I guess that's the full stack. RESTful API is okay. But no, there's no Python, so I cannot move you forward with this. And then the CI/CD. So yeah, this would fail for a Python engineer. So let's see what this person stated. Also, this resume is a giant wall of text. 300 applications since mid-August. That's actually not that much. You should be doing about 200 a month. Your goal should be about 200 a month. Again, we are approaching the recruiting wasteland of November to early January, which is when you probably should maybe take a step back and breathe for your mental health. But 300 applications since mid-August isn't terribly great. You should be aiming for about 200 a month, which is about 50 a week. No interviews, but I've revised my resume significantly 3 times. This is my most recent version. Looking for front end, back end, full stack positions, and I lean heavily on my last job, moving around bullets. Thanks for all the help. I appreciate all the advice you shared on Reddit and Twitch. No worries. I'm glad to help. So yeah, I mean, your problem is like, I don't know what I'm looking for here, right? Like if this is a full stack dev, you might have enough, but you cannot have a resume that does it all. You split that off into multiple resumes. So let me see. Maybe this has enough for full stack. Let's check this out. So we've got your degree, which I don't see. Where's your degree? Okay, it's all the way at the bottom. Oh, because it's not a CS degree, then you are correct. That is the right way to do it. If it's not a CS degree, then you should have put it at the bottom. Good on you. You called that correctly. So Agile is good. Then we have HTML and CSS. Good. JavaScript and TypeScript, although I don't know why you wrote them like that. You should use commas instead of whatever the slashes, forward slashes. And React is good. No, you did not say React.js. You just said React, which increased leads by, I don't care about this. I don't care about that. Nothing care about here. And then we go to RESTful APIs, which is good, which I think I already removed for some reason, or no, they're there. And APIs in general. And that's kind of it. Like, I barely got past this. And then nothing. I'm sure, here it is. Off the corner of my eye, I saw CI/CD. So yeah, you don't have enough for a full stack, right? This is why you don't have enough for a full stack. But if I keep scrolling, I'm like, oh, Lee, but look, he has AWS here, and Node.js here, and Python down here, and GraphQL here, which are all on your qualifications. There's no way someone's going to get all the way down here in 20 seconds. You need to be very mindful of the time we actually have to look at your resume. If I could dig through this resume and I had, say, 2 minutes, yeah, I could find what I need. But we don't have that time. I wish we did. I think the world would be a better place, but the recruiter that spends more than 20 seconds on a resume and they have another 75 other positions is the one that is going to get laid off. So you need to shrink this down, and you need to do this formatting. This is a nightmare of a wall of text. This is good formatting. This is a nightmare. So you need to remove the stuff that's not necessary, like this entire thing, right? I don't care about leads by 24% and boosting sales. I don't care about this. Second one is fine. I'd like a little bit more. There's nothing here that I could use, so this can entirely be deleted. This can be deleted. This can be deleted because there's nothing that's needed. And look, there's these 3 whole bullet points of worthless information for this, right? And then this is actually mostly solid. I like Docker. I like CI/CD. And then that's it for this. I could delete this. And then you get down to the stuff that I need here. And then you get to this part, which is weird because you also have your freelance work. Unless you're applying for WordPress PHP positions or whatever, delete this. Because this looks weird that you were doing this freelance at the same time as this. That is a red flag. I know you're like, well, I've been laid off and there's a gap. That's okay. Gaps are not huge. Once a gap gets to 2 years, that's when it starts to be a problem. But your resume would be better served to just delete this and this. And you can speak Dutch and German? Bro, or broette. I mean, bro is gender neutral. Bro, don't put that at the bottom. That's good. That's actually stuff we need. If you are bi or trilingual, you should put that at the top. You know how hard it is to find people that are bi or trilingual as a recruiter? It's an absolute nightmare. That's actually a giant green flag. If a company is hiring somebody that speaks more than the same language and they see that language, they may move forward with you even if you don't meet 75%. As long as you meet like 20%, they will probably take the chance. So that should be up top. You need to fix your formatting and then remove this because this is a red flag. So that's what you can do to actually fix this, because it looks like you have the experience, but no one's going to be able to find it in this giant wall of text. So that's all I can do for this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you ever need more help, you are free to join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get these qualifications from. That is where I help people a little bit more. For everybody else, I will see you all in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search.